All right. What's up? How we doing, everybody? We got Monday Night Football. We're joined by the famous Dr. Prophet, first name Doctor, last name Prophet. Joining me again. How we doing?
Doing great, man. I always look forward to any talking ball for any island game like this. I wish it wasn't Steelers and Giants, but hey, football's football. We take what we can get.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't an over-under of 36.5, but what are you going to do? Hey, these are the games that separate us from the men from the boys. You know what I mean? The boys are scared of these. They're not playing anything. The men, already know Ahan's got some nasty boys that he's playing tonight. So anyways, we'll be quick. Anything you got on the main lines?
So on the game itself, I don't have this as an official play. I'm really close to playing Giants +6. This just feels like one of those where Steelers are coming off some good games. People are like, oh, Russell Wilson's good again. Everybody's shitting on the Giants. And you expected this to open up at like a 10-point spread, and it's 6. So you're like, okay, there's something we're missing. Giants are probably going to do something that nobody's expecting.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. It feels like the perfect buy low spot on the Giants, the sell high on the Steelers. I mean, like, Russell, like, I don't know. While I was watching the game last week, it was just like the Jesse Pinkman. He can't keep getting away with this meme. He's just like firing off just like moon balls that, like, I mean, would hit the freaking top of the Cowboys stadium and then somehow like drops in George Pickens' hands. Like, I get that's kind of what he does, and that's what George Pickens does. But those are low percentage plays, man. And like, you cannot count on that type of stuff to happen week over week. And then the Giants looked like just like dog piss for 2 straight weeks. Last week against my Eagles looked terrible. 2 weeks ago against the Bengals looked terrible. They played well the 3 weeks prior to that. So I kind of feel like it's a perfect example of, like I said, sell high, buy low. But I mean, you will not catch me putting my money anywhere close on the Giants right now. Because like, if they just piss down their leg again, I'm going to feel like an idiot.
Oh yeah. And bro, the Steelers don't, like, even when they win, and it's happened the last 2 weeks, but it's not like Tomlin consistently has teams scoring 30 plus. I think it's happened 3 times over however many years. So it's like, it is very likely the Steelers still handle their business. They're up by 10 the whole game, and the Giants come back with a garbage touchdown late in the game or something.
True.
Like that feels like a Steelers win. It's always close, but they always grind it out.
Yeah, and we're due for, like, the Steelers are perpetually 9-8. Like, they're due for like a 3-game losing streak. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, you're not a Steelers fan. You said we, but then I realized you're wearing the Eagles hat.
I meant we as in like the collective public is due for some, like, again, a 3-game losing streak, something like that. Anyways, we can move on to stuff that we're actually betting. I got 2 player props locked in. There's another one that I like, but I'll let you go first in terms of what you got for this one.
So I only have one right now, and it's funnily enough, from our conversation just a second ago, it's George Pickens receiving yards. The Giants just get absolutely killed by number 1 options. The only ones that haven't put up 60 yards were ones where they got subbed out in like the first half because it was a blowout. So George Pickens to get 60 yards, I feel like it's for how well he's been performing this season, it's too low. And I think he was low for the first few weeks because with Justin Fields, they weren't passing it as much. And even on a lot of pass plays, he was scrambling and running. With Russell Wilson, I don't think we have that. So you're probably buying yourself 10 more pass attempts that we have him winning his routes on. He only needs 1 or 2 to go.
I mean,
yards.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I know I was just making fun of him, but the thing with Pickens is he could just get that in one play, and like that's what even when Wilson was terrible in Denver, he could at least still throw the deep ball. Yeah, I mean, so you said you locked it in at like 60 plus.
I got 58.5, but honestly,
wow.
And I know you love your ladders. I'd be willing to climb it and go to 75 here.
Yeah, well, no,
we get a second deep ball where we're having a completely different conversation.
True, that's true. And no, I was just saying, wow, because like you got awesome CLV on that. Because right now, I mean, you're not getting 58.5 anywhere. Even 59.5, you're paying -124 at FanDuel. Most books have it at like 62.5, and then we can get like a plus. I mean, you know me. If I'm playing this, I'm going 70 at +120. I got burned by my ladders yesterday. So you live by the ladder, you die by the ladder. But yeah, if I was betting this, I would go with the 70 plus, and then yeah, I mean you can get 75 plus 150. Actually, that's not even that. At that point, I would just take the 80 plus. Like I go 70 and 80. But But I'm guessing you would just recommend the main line at that point, I guess, which is what, 62.5.
Yeah, I think at 70 plus, I'd like a little better than plus 120, but
Yeah.
I have this horrible habit of all the players that I don't ladder are soaring. All the players that I do ladder, they're not even getting close. So I didn't ladder George Pickens, which means he's probably going for 150 and 3 touchdowns tonight.
Yeah, he's hitting 100. Yeah, yesterday. I mean, sometimes you just have bad luck. That's what happened yesterday. I mean, Jordan Love Jordan Love pulls his hammy or his groin. I mean, he's done for the game. Burrow was well on his way. I had him 275 plus. He was well on his way, and then back to back, like literally 2 plays in a row, these kind of fluky turnovers killed that. So that's unfortunately the nature of the beast. Like I said, I locked in 2. People that watch my YouTube video already know what I'm on, but I'll go through it quick. The first one, and this is super square, but I'm just going right back to Malik Nabers receptions. It was best offered when I locked it in I got it at I think plus 116 at FanDuel. Wow, that actually got nuked. You can get plus 120. So went the opposite way, which I never loved.
365.
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, I don't remember what they were this morning, but yeah, I mean, it makes me feel good that at least it's bet 365, but I hate getting the worst number. I mean, everywhere else, I don't know what 365 is doing. I mean, you're seeing plus 105, plus 104, plus 106. So yeah, it's just a bet 365 number, but for those of you that did not watch it, you're getting a better price. So I will put that in the sheet at the plus 125 because that's a good price you're getting. And I'm not laddering this one. I'm sticking to the 7 plus. But it's just a play like his target share was obscene for up until last week. And then he got concussed in that Cowboys game. He missed a couple games. Last week was his first game back. And even then, in a gross game where Daniel Jones only threw for 99 yards, he still had 8 targets. Only brought down 4 of them. He got locked down by Quinyon Mitchell, the Eagles' #1 cornerback, who's just a stud. But prior to that, I mean, 18 targets, 12 targets, 15 targets. He's #1 in the NFL in target share. He's #1 in first read target rate. He's got the second highest route participation, only behind Jamar Chase. And so he's played 5 games, and he's 8th in the NFL in just total targets. Every player above him, all 7, have played at least 7 games, and he's 2 games below that. He is 10th in the NFL in total receptions, again with 5 games played. One player above him, Amon-Ra, played 6 games. Everybody else has got 7. I played 7 games. So he's just, I mean, is the targets he was getting, I get they're Daniel Jones targets. So not your average target, but still, I mean, that's just insane volume he's getting. And then you can throw on the Steelers. You can't, their record and their schedule hasn't really reflected that because they've just had a poo-poo platter of opponents, but 6th easiest offensive opponents, or I guess 6th easiest defensive schedule, according to DVOA. You take out the Chargers game because Justin Herbert, that was the game in which he already entered the game with a high ankle sprain and then he left at halftime because he re-aggravated it. They've only played 2 real quarterbacks who can throw, Joe Flacco and Dak Prescott. Both of them lit him up. Joe Flacco, Michael Pittman Jr. had 6 receptions, 113 yards. Josh Downs, 8 receptions, 82 yards. And then in a Cowboys game, Prescott threw for 352. And he just spread it around among a bunch of people. Jalen Tolbert led the Cowboys with 7 receptions for 87 yards, but they had 5 or 6 receivers with 50 more receiving yards. That's not the Giants. They're not spreading that around. It's Nabers and it's Wandale, and that's it. So here's my first one. I do like the Wandale angle as well. If you want to take because they can both get there. I mean, so the target rate for both of these guys is crazy. So just curious, did you look at Wandale? Because I know that the Steelers really struggle guarding the slot, which is primarily Wandale. So there's the argument for him. So I'm just curious if you looked at them at all.
So I didn't look much into it because I was kind of the same boat as you. I was all right, single high coverage from the Steelers. It's going to mean Nabers. But I need to go back and double check on this. But I tend not to like Wanda Robinson against single high looks. It's usually not favored for the middle of the field. So I know a couple other sharps that I like are liking his over and liking his matchup. But because of that, I was kind of all right, if I'm taking anybody, I'm taking Nabers, and I'm calling it a day. I don't really want to play the Wandale game in this one.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I admittedly did not look into him at all. I just know someone I respect said that they're Wandale plays the slot, and the Steelers are weakest at the slot position. Forget their slot cornerback, but he's someone that you can take advantage of. But I mean, even Joey Porter Jr. has his moments, but he's not he's not Patrick Surtain or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, this is fair. Watt versus Giants line makes you want to stay clear from all Giants players. I get that. And the Giants are missing, I think, both starting tackles from the beginning of the year, which obviously is very much not good. And that's why their offense has really struggled the past 2 weeks. To me, that just means like short passing game, which the Steelers are going to be all over. But that just means like receptions for no yards. That's why I'm taking receptions and I'm not touching yards.
I don't hate it at all. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, Nabers is one where I told myself if I was going to take a prop on the Giants side, it was probably going to be Nabers. And I think if I didn't like George Pickens more, I tend not to like playing just a star wide receiver on both sides. I feel like it's never both of them. It's always one of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but my favorite prop on that Giants side would definitely be Nabers, especially at plus money. What's his yards line?
Real quick, I just want to respond to a comment. So the slot comment was regarding Wan'Dale Robinson, not Malik Nabers. I was saying, like, I'm already on Nabers, and I'm saying if people want an argument for Wan'Dale, it's because Wan'Dale plays mostly in the slot. I just wanted to clear that up. But receiving yards I saw was in the 60s, which I'm not touching. Like, I could see him 7 receptions for 17 yards. Like, I would not be shocked just because Daniel Jones. But yeah, that's Pickens. Malik Nabers, 64.5. At minus 110 at 365. Most books have it 66.5, some 68.5 looks like. Some of these prices are just crazy. I mean, like Caesars is giving you over 60.5 or minus 131. Bet 365 is 4 yards lower, giving you over at minus 110.
Bet 365, when it comes to receiving yard lines, they always just seem to miss the mark just a little bit.
Yeah, and they always have the best. I notice frequently they have the best ladder props as well. Like I end up playing a lot of ladders on 365. But yeah,
I don't know if this is still the case, but I'm pretty sure last year they were the only book that had rushing plus receiving yard ladders available. I think FanDuel might have it now, but I know last year they didn't.
I'm pretty sure that more books are for that now. They are the only book that offer ladder for attempts, which I rarely ladder attempts because like you're playing a dangerous game. But yeah, I mean, they're the only one. Like if you look at alternate lines, I guess Fliff does too. But they're the only ones. So I guess it's 365 and Fliff. All right. So you said the only official play you had was the Pickens one.
Yeah, and then I thought I was really close to playing the Giants spread and Nabers.
Okay. The only other play that I locked in for this one was I took Jaylen Warren. I took him 35 plus rushing yards. I got it at plus 135. Looks like that is no longer available. So if I'm playing this right now, I would do the plus one. I'll do the 40 plus at plus 160. I don't think he has a ton of ceiling to get much higher than that. So like I'm really trying to stick like to the 40 number. So I mean, everybody can use one of these sports books that's offering 40 plus. That's where I would play it as of this moment. Again, I got 35 plus for plus money. I got, again, plus 135. If anybody is listening and you can get a 35 plus at any plus money price, I would hit that for a unit. I don't think that the books have like properly adjusted Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris literally having a 50-50 time split in games in which they're both healthy. Like it's really only been 2 games, which is why that's the case. But in the 2 games that Warren has actually been healthy, he's had 51% of the snaps, which was last week. And then I think it was week 2, he had 48% of the snaps, and then he got hurt and he was like questionable for a couple games. But the 2 games that Najee Harris missed, he played 69%. That's really nice. 69% and 74% of snaps. Everything else is a 50-50 time split. And just look at the difference in yards. Warren, like 30.5, 31.5. Najee, you're doubling it. And I get like Najee will have more carries than Warren. That's not me saying that it's going to be like a 50-50 split in terms of carries. But Warren is like the scat back efficiency, generally going to have a higher yards per carry than Najee. That hasn't really been the case this year. Najee's been really good, especially the past 2 weeks, but kind of outlier efficiency from Najee over the past 2 weeks. And every game this season where Jaylen Warren has played at least or has hovered around the 50% snap rate, he's hit the 35 plus number that I locked in, and he's hit the 40 plus number, which is what I'm recommending people take now. And the Giants, their run defense is pathetic, allowing the highest yards per carry in the NFL. They're allowing the 8th most yards before contact and the 4th most the 8th most yards after contact, the 4th most adjusted yards before contact. That's a horrific combination. Like you're not getting people down with contact. And then they're also like allowing a lot of push before contact. Like I love to look at both of those numbers in conjunction because it really tells you like what are like the piss poor run defenses. They're one of them. And the thing that's interesting and why I'm out on Najee is they have the 6th highest stuff rate, which is like per fantasy points. It's like it's a run that doesn't go for first down on 3rd down and like less than 3. It's like a run that goes for, I think, 3 or fewer yards on 1st and 2nd down. I think that's how they define it. The Giants have this.
Oh,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think I know success rate, which it sounds like you're talking stuff rate is the opposite. Success rate is 60% of the way on 1st and 2nd down, or 40% of the way on 1st and 2nd down, 60% of the way on 3rd and 4th down, or 3rd down, 100% of the way on 4th down.
Got it. Okay, let me.
Or it might be
success rate. Yeah, here we go.
I'll look it up. I have it somewhere.
I got stuff rate. No, you're good. So stuff rate is defined per fantasy points. Percentage of carries that does not result in a first down or touchdown, less than 4 yards on first down, and less than 3 yards on any other down. That's stuff rate. Okay. The Giants, as I mentioned, they have the 8th highest stuff rate in the NFL. And that's with having the worst yards per carry. It's because like anything up the middle, you're going to run into big Dexter Lawrence, who is very good. Like their defensive line is the only thing that the Giants have. But like if you just get those runs to the outside, that's where they really struggle. And if you look at like when Saquon did his damage last week, it was that outside run. He had like a 60-yard run that was to the outside. Like that's how you beat the Giants. And that's what like Jalen Warren has. 78% of his rush attempts are in like that zone scheme as opposed to the man gap. This is per fantasy points. So that's why I like Jalen Warren. Like you don't really need him to have that big of a game. Like it's 40 plus yards, even if you can't get the 35 plus number. I didn't take any touchdowns in this one. I don't know. Like A, did you look at rushing between Najee and Jalen Warren? And B, did you have any touchdowns in general that you liked?
So between Warren and Najee, kind of like you said, I actually didn't flag this until you brought it up. So I went back and checked the stuff rate. You're spot on about. And then again, like you're saying, the explosive rush rate, the Giants are allowing the highest percentage of yards for 10 or more, highest percentage of rushes for 10 or more yards in the NFL at 17.4, and the highest yards after 10. So like after you cross the 10-yard line, the most yards after that point.
Yep, that's Jalen Warren.
Yeah, exactly. That's all Jalen Warren. You know that since we didn't bet on Najee, he's going to break off a 40-yarder. It happens every time I don't bet on him. Yeah. But definitely fits the bill more with Warren. For receiving, I'm going to pull up right now the red zone target share for – do you want to look at the Giants or the Steelers first?
Either one, whichever one you think. I guess probably the Steelers because they're going to have more value. But either one. I mean, either one.
I know last week he caught one, but coming into last week, there's a ton of value on Pickett's red zone usage or Pickens. Okay. So, but I think he's actually up there in red zone targets. They just were never tucking him in. So yeah, he has 10 red zone targets on the season and 3 receptions. So you have to think that's going to keep averaging out over time. I know he got one last week, but against a Giants team with no good outside corners, why not go for it again? It's square because it is Pickens, but I just think there's too much usage there not to go and get.
Yeah, and like it might be square, but like you're plus 200 at BetMGM, plus 190 at FanDuel. So even though it's square, you're like still getting a really good price. And per the comment here from Mike Lowry, yeah, the Giants lead the NFL in sacks. So like that's what their defensive line is doing. They're just pinning their ears back and they're going for pressure, which leaves them to susceptible on those runs to the outside because the defensive end is already down the field and the running back is running past him. So that's like why it's surprising they're so bad at stopping the run. It's because they're solely focused on getting sacks, and then on run plays they're just getting annihilated. And go ahead. No, I'm just gonna. Dexter Lawrence is awesome. No, yeah, I'm just agreeing with the comment here. He's awesome.
Pickens has the 4th highest target share in the red zone in the NFL, only behind Drake London, Cortland Sutton, and Garrett Wilson.
One of those receivers is good.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that just to put in perspective how much 3 or 10 targets actually was.
Yeah, people like 10 targets is crazy. People like most teams have a heavy run rate in the red zone. So yeah, 10 targets is a ton. Yeah, I mean, Najee is just because like you can run on the Giants and when they get close, like they're going to run, but you're just getting so much worse odds. I mean, your best price you're getting is what, plus 113. That's at Sport Trade. That's not legal everywhere. And then you're paying plus 110 versus plus 190, plus 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. National Tight End Week hasn't stopped yet. It's still National Tight End Week. So Pat Freiermuth plus 320, plus 325.
Dude, it's actually crazy, the boost. Like, I know it's intentional by a lot of these teams to get their tight ends more involved on National Tight End Day, but it's actually crazy. I think I saw stats like the production actually doubles for touchdowns for tight ends.
It's crazy. It's like the way you win NFL games is by scoring points. If you can manufacture touchdowns of tight ends, why not do it in more than 1 week?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
But
hey, whatever. And then
whatever
Theo
works.
Johnson he's the tight end for the Giants, right? Plus 1,000. Why not?
Yeah, bro, and he's good, and they don't use him.
Yeah, it's because he's a rookie, right?
I like him.
He's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's on the field. Like, that's what's not making sense. His routes are there. They're just not throwing him the ball at all.
Yeah, teams hate rookie tight ends. It's like Sam Laporta is the only one who has had like a good touchdown rate as a rookie. Kyle Pitts had 1,000 yards, but he didn't score.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe could be Bellinger. Oh my God, plus 20, plus 3,000. I mean, now we're really talking nasty boys.
I'm trying to think who else. I think it was Trent took like the third string running back on the Steelers for a first touchdown prop one time. And I always wondered like what the reasoning for that was. I wasn't sure if I missed something.
Was it like Cordero Patterson?
No. Hold on. Let me look at the Steelers depth chart. It was a guy I had never heard of before.
They don't even have odds for Patterson.
He's injured.
Oh, is that why? Well, that makes me feel even better about Warren. I forgot that he got hurt.
Ward.
I've never heard that name in my life.
Yeah, no, he's the fourth string back.
He took him tonight?
No, it was either last week or the week before.
Oh.
But I remember I thought it was a joke because I was like, I didn't think it was a real player. I thought he was messing around. But no,
that's hilarious.
It was a real player. Aaron Champlin. Okay, it was Cowboys. It was the Cowboys and Steelers play in one.
Yeah, they played Sunday night a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so that's what it was.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude. I'm just trying to think of like how deep we can really get with these touchdown props.
Yeah, I mean,
Slayton 50-yard deep bomb.
Could be Slayton. Yeah, could be Slayton. The biggest touchdown prop I ever hit was the Super Bowl. I had Mecole Hardman, which was the last play of the game. He was plus 2,000 to score a touchdown. That was amazing. It was like the last play. Plus, it could be a Jalen Hyatt. Just speaking of deep balls, why not?
What's Tyrone Tracy?
I actually like Tracy. I was going to bring him up. He's plus 300, plus 358.
He got good usage last game, even though Singletary came back.
Yeah, he did. No, Singletary's first game back, and he still played 68% of the snaps. No, I didn't bet it, but I didn't want to take like too many Giants receivers props because Daniel Jones might throw for 100 yards, but I liked Tyrone Tracy receiving. It's super low, 10.5. You can get minus 115 at the book we were just roasting, Bet365. And look at Caesars and Bet Online, 2 yards higher, heavily juiced towards the over. And yeah, good point. Maybe Daniel Jones could throw a touchdown pass because he's not playing at MetLife. That's a good point that we haven't considered yet.
I like Tracy as well.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not putting my name on 3 Giants receiving props because that's a quick way to just get yourself canceled in this business. But yeah, I think that's solid. Like he's a receiving back. He the last 2 weeks, I get Singletary was out for one of them, but like 68% of the snaps, decent target rate. Steelers allow, I think, the 5th most receiving yards to running back. So there is some logic behind the Tyrone Tracy, but I didn't go there.
For me, it was one of those where I know the reasoning is sound, but if I play it and he ends up with like 1 target for 0 receptions, I'm going to feel like such an idiot.
Yeah, no, I get that. There's definitely some like mental gymnastics. Like you really have there's certain NBA games. Like I really there's a lot of good props in Wizards Hawks, but I don't want to watch that game. So it's like you bet it and then you
want to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Or like if you're betting an under, it's like I'm going to bet an under on a game that I'm not watching, so I don't have to worry about that. And real quick, just to answer this question, this is OddsJam. This is what I use to line shop. That pulls up all these odds. It's from OddsJam, but there's a bunch of websites you can get to pull odds. This is just what I use. So yeah. Cool. All right. Well, anything else that you had for this game that lean thoughts, anything you just wanted to mention?
I don't think so. There's always the primetime under system is always in play, except when I take it. So I'm not on it today. So it's probably hitting, just in case anybody was thinking about playing that. We talked about the Giant spread. I think we covered most of it. There's the primetime kicker systems. Personally, if you were to take one of the kickers in this one, which one do you think you'd take?
Well, that's the thing. So like the Giants offense prior to the last 2 weeks, they were the offense that would drive and then they would stall. Like they got 5 field goals against the Giants in Nabers last game. There was that game against I guess that was the Commanders who kicked a bunch of field goals and won. It would probably be Boswell, but I don't like the fact that it's over 7.5 and not over 6.5. You know what I mean? So it's like
points.
For kicking points. Yeah, I guess is there
what's his field goals?
Player field goals made. Yeah, and then it's minus 135 for. I mean, that over 1.5 is probably a good play, and even like 1.5 for the Giants kicker.
Bro, I mean, I'm looking at it now. The Steelers actually allowed the second lowest field goals per drive at 0.11.
Huh? I wonder, like, do teams
keep in mind the Giants kicker is also not good. He's horrible.
Yeah, that's also
not a good kicker.
That's also true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, kicker props. I feel like every time someone bets a kicker prop, I feel like it hits. It's just not a market that I've looked into myself.
I've been trying to, because every time I have a primetime game where I'm like, there's a side that I don't love a player prop for, I just immediately turn to the kickers.
Yeah.
When I'm being picky, I've found success on it, but then when I'm like, oh, I need to find a kicker prop, like just because they've been doing well, let me find one today, and I force it, never goes well. Never.
Yeah, I feel like that's the case with like anything. If I'm like just going back and forth over a play, probably just don't play it, because then you're like trying to force something. Yeah, I do that all the time. Cool. All right. Well, I don't have anything left for this game. If I'm betting a touchdown, it would be like you said, it'd be the George Pickens. And then, or it'd be Najee. And then on the Giants side, it's disgusting. Like Nabers is plus 220 for someone as good as him. But I don't know. It's dark out here. Well, we have a couple minutes. Is there anything that you wanted to shout out real quick for the NBA while we're here?
For the NBA, I have a good amount of picks on today's slate. So the first one is Colin Sexton points. He's just been my wagon.
Your boy.
14.5 is so low. He had 13 shots last game, and the only reason last game was the first time I've ever seen Colin Sexton be inefficient. So as long as the volume's there, I don't care. I'm going to go back to it. So 14.5 points. He'll probably hit that first half, if I'm being honest.
I mean, 14.5 is low. There was a couple nasty boys that I liked. Their odds have admittedly gotten nuked. It was in this game. It was come on, pull up. It was my guy Julian Strother. His over under was 5.5. Now it's up to 6.5. But I mean, why not? I went 10 plus 230 at FanDuel is that's worth a half unit. I mean, come on. The Nuggets want him to work so badly. They got rid of like back-to-back years, Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, KCP. They want this guy. It's like, you stop trying to make fetch happen. That's the Nuggets with Julian Strother. And it's like, they're in desperate need of a win. Like this game could be 30 points at halftime. And then this dude's just going to have like a prime MJ usage rate in the second half against a terrible Raptors team. Give me him for 10 plus. Another nasty boy that I liked so I also have a bone to pick with NBA.com. They didn't release tracking data for Saturday until this afternoon. So I did my research. It's up now. Yes, it is up now. The problem is I did my research without having that at my disposal. And then I ended up giving out incorrect information at this point in time, which I don't feel great about. But it's my boy Najee Marshall, 3+ assists. He's gotten 3 in each game. The potential assists have not been amazing, I will admit, but it's a Jazz team that's given up the most assists in the NBA. And the Jazz are like an all-you-can-eat buffet in how you want to get assists. Catch and shoot, you're there. Pick and roll, most points to the roll man in the pick and roll per possession. They've given up the most field goal attempts in the paint outside of the restricted area. So, like, yeah, they're not giving up lobs. It's just that push shot. Najee Marshall in the first game had the same amount of drives as Kyrie Irving. That's no longer the case, which is the incorrect information that I gave out, was that he had tied Kyrie Irving in drives per game. But 3 assists in a juicy matchup. I like him and Luka. I like Luka in this game as well.
Dude, I was so close to playing Luka. I saw you posted it, and once I saw you post it, I was mad that I wasn't on it with you because I was this close, dude. That's a good one.
Yeah, I've gotten boned by Luka. At least his assists. I hit his points against the Suns on Saturday, but I mean, I've been getting boned left and right in this NBA season so far. I just haven't quite been able to find my stride yet. Hopefully that changes. The only other 2 plays I gave out, I'll be quick. And they took this market down. I wonder if it's still up. It was Anthony Black, points plus assists. They took him down. And
you did that before the Franz news?
Oh, wait, that's the wrong game. Yeah, he's still down. Maybe they just haven't updated yet, but waiting on Franz. So
they
I guess
are. Because I was looking at, I checked 15 minutes after Franz was ruled out, and I was trying to check it, and it wasn't there, and it's still not there. I'm on Magic minus 6.5 in that game. That one's a system play for me, but I actually got negative COV on that once Franz was late ad.
Yeah, second half of back-to-back on a team that played in overtime? Is that the system?
No, it's Magic at home when they're favored. So
okay.
Let me pull up the exact. They just handle their business at home. It's unbelievable. But I
like it.
Last year,
I love a good system play.
Since last season, and just in general at home, they're 32-13 against the spread, 22-6 when they're favored, and 14-2 when they're favored by 5 or more.
Oh, that's good. I mean, yeah, CLV. I've had the best CLV of my life and not won anything.
Every day I open Pickens, I'm like plus 7% COV projected profit, whatever, hundreds of dollars. Never goes how Pickens says it does.
It's nothing. Yeah, 2 more plays that I locked in. I'll be quick. Damian Lillard, I'm on Damian Lillard. He's the next one. John Moran assists. I don't get what the books are doing with this line. At least it's minus money. I got him over 6.5 for plus 108. I don't understand that line. If I'm betting this right now, give me 8+ for a half unit at plus 160. He's averaging 25 minutes per game. I don't know if they're just slow rolling him. Like beginning of the year, he was hurt last year with the shoulder injury. He still hit this number in 2 of 3 games. One game he had 18 potential assists in 25 minutes. And this is a Bulls team that first game of the year gave up 10 assists to DeJounte Murray, 19 potential assists. Second game of the year gave up 8 assists on 16 potential assists to Damian Lillard. Last game, I bet SGA. He did nothing, but Jalen Williams was the one who had 8 assists against this Bulls defense. They've just been getting smoked. John Morant has been awesome as a playmaker. It's a crazy price. And he had 2 assists 2 games ago to answer this question. He had 10 assists in game 1, 2 assists in game 2, 10 assists in game 3 for John Morant. So I think this one's solid. And then the last one, I always say I'll be quick, and then I just get so fired up talking about a play that I end up not being quick. But and I think me and you are kind of on the same system. I'm on Damian Lillard points against the Celtics. It's a guard that can pull up against the Celtics. It's exactly what we look for. Even in a good start to the Celtics, they got smoked by Deuce McBride, 24 points in 22 minutes. Jalen Brunson, 23 points in 22 minutes. Jordan Poole went off for 16 points in the first quarter against them. It's the drop coverage defense. If you wanted to play made threes for Dame, I wouldn't hate that either. You're just you're getting plus 130 for 4+ isn't phenomenal value. I got him at a price that's no longer available. I got it over 21.5 for basically even
so much.
Yeah. Now I got 21.5 for minus 115. If I'm playing this right now, give me, it's not even so. All right. It was even plus money for 23.5. This has gotten really nuked. Give me 25+ for plus, we don't count Bet Rivers for plus 125 at Fliff and Bet 365.
Bro, I was planning on playing it today, and when I checked, it was bumped from the 21.5, but otherwise I would have. I think what I'm going to do, I haven't made it yet. I'm going to make a long shot parlay for probably threes, And I think I was going to put his 4+ in there.
Yeah, I love it. I did before we have. No,
yeah,
sorry.
I was going to ask for yours real quick because I was trying to decide between Mobley or Dean Wade for either Dean Wade 2 threes or Mobley for 1 3 as my last leg of that lotto.
That's a good call. I'd probably go Mobley. He hit one the first game. It was plus money. Like the books are still giving you plus. At least last I checked. Yeah, plus 145. That's crazy. And Kenny Atkinson, all he wants to do is these guys to run and shoot. Yeah, I put out a 10+ assist parlay right before we hopped. $5 on 4 dudes to get 10+ assists. Why not? Let's get weird. And here you go. Dean Wade. I would trust Ahan over me. Dean Wade, 2+ threes. There you go. 2 a.m. He's probably smacked out of his mind. Why not?
All right, Dean Wade it is.
Cool. All right. Well, anything else you have for anything? Baseball? No. We got World Series bets.
I haven't been doing World Series bets. I'm not gonna lie. You got anything?
No. I mean, I wrote an article for Newsweek, but it's it's like cold and wind blowing in New York. If you're playing anything, play bases. Because Walker Buehler is basically a pitching machine. Or sorry, he's like a
hitting machine.
There we go. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Are you talking singles or just total base props?
2+ bases. Juan Soto and Jazz Chisholm are the ones that I play. Chisholm's like plus 210, which is crazy. He's been hitting the ball hard and yeah. Real quick to answer Jacob's question, it was Pickens. That was our anytime touchdown. Cool. It's not gonna happen. He's throwing beach balls out there. The guys are. I
can't believe he's pitching the World Series, man.
Dame was points for me, and I think you like his threes to answer.
I'm putting his threes in a parlay. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. In a parlay. So keep that in mind. Cool. All right. Well, Mr. Profit, would you like to tell the people where they can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me at Dr. Profit on Twitter or at Dr. Profit Picks on Instagram. Those are the 2 primary places I post my picks. And then I have a platform where you can pay a little extra to get them early if you want, but everything gets posted for free on those platforms anyway. So feel free to check me out. Appreciate you, Matt. Yeah, I appreciate you hopping on. Everybody make sure to go follow him. And if you're interested, check out his Winnable to get everything super quickly. We appreciate him for taking the time. I'm sure we'll have you again this year. Everybody bet responsibly. Everybody have a great night. Let's all win our bets tonight.